So I think it's about time that we actually start doing some alchemy in a game called Alchemy Factory by making some healing potions. We have everything in place to make healing potions in some regard, but we also need a few more nurseries to make the one plant some sage. So can we copy this table? There's a bit of an awkward overlap, so why don't we try setting this up to just be a nursery table? Actually, maybe that would work. This table's bigger than I thought it was. We'll have to copy it manually after all. Or at least a few things on it, such as these, and then the conveyor belts that they're attached to. Put that over here, but we need more clay and iron. And of course, we have to keep up with the day's processes, but at least we have a whole conveyor system here to automatically restock the shelves. So we'll need to purchase some iron ore, which is a little costly, but now that's going again. So why don't we just, can we really break that to, maybe we can't. We can empty this of nails for now, and then are we selling those? No, but we could. We got enough of it after all. And could we get another catapult in here? We need a little rope, but that should be fine if we set the target to this one, although it's too far? I guess it is. So we'd have to move that a little closer while still keeping it lined up. So now it's just having a couple of conveyors go around and then connect to it, so we can split some of it. And once the customer picks up some mortars, the catapults restock it. Excellent! Which, this guy's got some crazy hair. Give Eric Andre a run for his money. Now, hopefully we can make enough to at least make a debt payment, but this bill from a day ago is way cheaper than this bill. And we do have a random quest for some rope and a lot of charcoal. We do have processes for making both, which is good, but we're also gonna need to somehow create a way to make more of the clay, or at least grab enough of it, which if the things are filling up, then that would actually not be too difficult. And I'm really curious how long it's gonna be before the late fee starts kicking in, because that's a little concerning. Plus we have the loan to pay off too. But I think our supplies here of charcoal is starting to fill up quickly, so we can take some of those. If we didn't have a whole bunch of stuff in our pockets, we might need to trade this out for a large storage, and unfortunately the customers buy more ropes than we can restock in good time. So our system isn't perfect, but it's still keeping up with a little bit of the demand. Although to pay off this thing here, we're absolutely gonna need to fill that quest. Now all of this is backed up, so we should be able to keep just emptying the conveyor belt of things. Even though we do need 150 of it, we can at least grab 54 for now, and also restock the nails. So let's look ahead here. To make the healing potion, we need sage powder and flax powder in an assembler, and that makes the healing potion. So yeah, we need a nursery that's growing sage, which is also gonna need some clay input, and we almost have a full stack here. I almost wonder if it'd be better to set up the catapults on this back line here. That would help with the range for sure, but at least for now we can make 2 nurseries, and once we actually start making these healing potions, we should be able to turn our money problems around, because they sell for a lot. But here, let's get some sage seeds, which, did we buy 2 of them already? It's been a while. But here, set the seed for this, and same with you. And then we'll need a couple of conveyors going to these, and then we'll need a couple of conveyors going to these, whatever way. And there's nursery number 3 with a sage seed. So now that we have this set up, we can also set up some conveyors on the other side, and then save this whole blueprint as a sageinator. So now we can tear this whole thing down and then remove it where we need it to be, although we should probably have room in our inventory to do that. But we can also put some things in here just to restock the supplies, since that should make that easier. And I don't know what I'm doing with this stone, so we'll just trash that all together. Now we should have enough room to tear this down while not dropping anything, and then we can just turn it around to be going this way, because that's where the inputs go. And then we can also divert some clay into there, which is gonna be a little difficult. I forgot I meant to duplicate the clay production. We have enough charcoal powder being made. That shouldn't be the issue. Is this thing even storing anything at all? It's not, because this is just going through so quickly. And then what do we do with the sage when we're done? It needs to go to an assembler, which was this even producing? Linens? We don't really need those anymore. So we can put a table here for an assembler to do like this. So that goes there, and then instead of that going to there, we have these start to go the other way. And maybe just remove this altogether. Sure. So now all of those are going there, and I didn't realize the sage seeds actually stacked. I thought they were individual, like all the resources are. And maybe for now, we can divert some of this. We're gonna need to in any case to start making some sage, but we can also plant some sage in there to begin with in each of them just to start the process. And we can set the recipe for healing potions and then have them go to a large storage box because sure, are they making it? Oh, we need sage powder, not raw sage. Hold on, we missed a step. Sage powder, that gets made in a crusher, right? And we can get 2 of those going because I guess that's all we have room for. And we can also just, can we load a bunch of sage in here? We can't. Although we could have it go to a box and then do this. But look at that, our first healing potion. Oh, good. And we need to submit 100 of those. But I do want to sell them too. So we can set up a potion stand, maybe along the wall here, just for them to go somewhere else. And back here should be fine. She's good to sell. Potion. And it's also the only potion, so we might as well set all these shelves to that. Now we should have, yeah, a table to fluorinator. Best naming convention, which it does need one more, but oh well. Whoop, wrong way. And can we take this and flip direction? No, but we can have the bulk of it in place and then set up individual pieces. So now we're supplying this shelf. There's actually quite a few healing potions made already. That's a good sign. And is that not stocking? Do we need one more? We can't even do one more there. Aw, this is gonna work. So we might need a catapult after all. That is actually so annoying. Is there anything we can do to help with that? Upgrade? How long has this been here? You're kidding. Okay, well, it needed a lot of upgrade cost tools anyway, but we guess we can speed up the conveyor belts if we had enough small gears. I didn't realize that menu was there. This changes everything. So now the conveyor belts are moving faster. Good. Okay, so it's comforting that we are able to make all of these potions now, but now it's just about stocking the shelves. Can we just move that here and then that would be fine? Need a couple ropes. So sadly, all of this does need to go away, but we have all those healing potions in hand, so at least we can stock this shelf with it and a few of them. And then you just need to go around to here, set target for that shelf there. Easy peasy, just as the next day is starting. But man, those expenses are really biting. And there's a bill overdue, 3+ days, great. At least we can pay off this one and this one, so there's only one bill left. Do we have any new quests? Charcoal powder and charcoal. At least our things are able to be supplied, and we do have a big box of charcoal powder. At least we're able to sell healing potions, but we could definitely also use some more catapults to launch them to the other shelves. Hey you, buy some healing potions. You're not buying healing potions? What's the matter with you? I hope they don't get interrupted by the conveyor belts on the floor for trying to get to places. Or can we not sell them until we submit the thing? Is that it? Well, let's see. Let's tear this down then. See how many healing potions we get back. 29. Let's just get a stop going here on things and focus on completing the objective because that'll give us a big payout. So I think everything is in a good spot now that we just have to wait for the clay and the healing potions to be made. In the meantime, we can also, oh wow, they actually cleared out all the ropes. So here's something. If we spend those healing potions we do have to get the store environment thing, then that'll give us access to the automatic cash register, which costs turquoise. Never mind, we don't have access to that. But at least we know now where the automatic thing is. And I would like to set up another crucible here. Hopefully this can solve our charcoal demand, and there's actually enough room on there for a third one, so that should be better charcoal output for us. Ideally backing this up enough that we can actually grab some of the surplus. We have 87 out of 100 healing potions we need, and I totally forgot we could set up lights. And the good news is that the nursery beds don't really use the fertilizer until there's room for the stuff to go somewhere, so that helps the clay back up. But the flax doesn't really have that problem, and I'm just gonna do this until we have enough charcoal to turn this in, because that should help the charcoal back up on the line. But we can also just sit here and pluck the charcoal straight off the line. We need 150 of this, but I also feel like we should use this opportunity to maybe reorganize our shop a little bit, because we could make it friendlier for the catapults to do their thing, but on the other hand, it's working well enough. And there's 100 healing potions. So hopefully there's enough clay somewhere, but of course 53 out of 100 clay still leaves a lot of room to be desired. Also, our clay making process has so many pieces that I'm not really sure how best we could like shrink that. Also, what's happening here? Nothing is happening because there's nothing in the crucible. Or there's nothing in the stone furnace, but it was making the quicklime. Do we need that? I don't think we need that anymore. And you know what? We have a lot of research points, so we might as well just use this. Or that's the research cost. Oh well. Okay, but now the charcoal's getting backed up on the line like I wanted it to. So now we can sit here and collect all of this, and then it should get us even closer to 150. And there it is, 150 charcoal. Now we just gotta come over here, collect the charcoal powder, and then that's a quest that we can turn in for $2,000, and we can prepay the loan. So we are free of that debt. Still, that bill exists though, which is a problem. Why can't we pay off that in like little payments? But I think for us to get there sooner, we're gonna have to start robbing the nurseries of the clay that they have, which there isn't a lot, and it's already all empty, which is a problem. Maybe the problem with the shelf was where it was. Let's try it over here. We are starting to create extra healing potions, so we can stock those on the shelves and see if customers buy them. Hopefully they do. I guess since we paid off that loan, we could get it again, just for a little bit, because that bill is still such an amount and is accruing late fees. This is not fun anymore. I guess for now we could take back the seeds so nothing gets planted, and then we just store up all the clay in there, which at that point we might as well just take out that so it stacks up sooner. Tell you what we should do. We should start selling linens, because I didn't realize that we were storing up so many in here. Like, I ripped out a whole bunch from the box, but we can sell those for more than just ropes can. And it's another day. What sort of bill penalties are we getting? Oh, we can actually do this one easily. Okay, the linens are lined up. We can just rip out 100 more charcoal powder to pay that off. And then healing potions, we just trash the shelf for a little bit just to turn this in, get some money, and then we can put that shelf back, which is starting to bite into what we're supposed to submit, but I still want to see if customers can actually purchase that now. Oh, there he goes. He's buying health potions. Yes, you're my new favorite customer. Even though you're standing there creepily for like 5 minutes. Oh, we're finally selling healing potions. Good. Even though we do kind of need more now because we're below our thing. We just need a little more clay. Is there any more conveyor upgrades that we can get? We need pulleys for that, goodness. We can get factory efficiency, that should help. And then it's pulleys again, but at least the factories can work faster. And we're selling more potions. But it seems like they really only have so much money because we're getting roughly 600 per transaction, which is still good. And you can definitely see how quickly it's working now in the assembler. Might as well keep our debt down to 1 bill. Ooh, this guy's buying a whole array of things. It's like he visited every shelf. Very nice. What? Did that say 2,500? Hold on, this guy's got roughly the same thing, 793. I could believe it. That was 1,300. Oh, amazing. We're finally getting some rich customers. I feel like setting up the sage nurseries to feed on the same conveyor as the flaxes gained for their clay worked a little too well, because like, none of these things actually have any clay in them, but they're able to run. And I guess these two can finish out their clay cycle because we can't get that clay back anyway. Wow, those linens really are selling for a lot. That was a couple transactions over 1,000. And finally, we have 100 pieces of clay. Turn in this quest. Oh, good. Alchemy level up. More reputation and red current seeds. But more importantly, we have 57,000 gold. So now we can pay off this stupid bill and maybe buy some more land. We're kind of filling up. Which one is that? That's directly behind our building, which also boosts the daily rent, but the rent is surprisingly the cheapest part of this. And I really wish I could make time stop just so I can reorganize a whole bunch of this. And I guess because the grinders work faster, the conveyors that were stocked up before are not anymore. So that's fun. But also because we're at the new level, we have more supplies that we have access to. Like the pulleys, which is planks and rope in an assembler, which sells for 44, but we can also use those for upgrades. Okay, so now that we don't need healing potions anymore, oh, a vitality potion. That's new. Where's that in the thing? This? It's this. So that is, I'm guessing, the red current, but it's a bit of a ways down the line. At least we have one potion set up in place, so we should be able to duplicate that. But we also have the means to make pulleys, so we should probably stop selling ropes. Just set that to mortars, and that's the same target, so we just gotta do a little bit of a bridging thing here because I couldn't be bothered to do anything different. So now we're selling a lot of mortars, linens, and iron nails. We're just still kind of stocking ourselves. There we go, more mortar output. And we also need a way for the healing potions to get over there. Hey buddy, would you like some mortars? Oh, thank you. Would you like some more mortars? Oh, thank you. 3 different bundles of mortars. And thankfully it's almost the end of the day, so we can just work on setting up the pulley system some, so we can start putting those towards upgrades, because upgrading the speed is gonna make a world of difference. And I almost forgot, we can reconnect the system here, so all the sage plants are working again, and we can continue making healing potions. So honestly, we probably could set up a thing where it just walks across all these and, oh, it can't go to the shelf. It needs to be catapulted. Well, we can reorganize this one to be facing that way, and instead of them going to the floor, we can just have these things walk over the conveyor belts. That should be fine. But what I want to know is where the heck we get turquoise. Right down here? Healing potion plus whatever that is at a blender? Interesting. We need this to get the automatic checkout, and there's pipes for transporting liquids. There's a kiln, which also costs clay, because of course it does. A wooden platform would be good to get. Should be better than setting up a bunch of boxes for things. Small platform, half a floor high. There's also a shaper, which I'm not sure what this makes except maybe that Jupiter there, but oh, that's worth 2 silver. Oh, but that's also a heck of a process. And our iron smelter keeps running out of material as well, so we'll need a thing for that. But at least that thing just finished, that building. So, oh, okay, when they said half a floor, I thought that was from like ground to table, not super high like this. Wow, that actually seems like it'd be really good for getting some things through. Is there one that's like half of that? A wooden floor? Not really. And walls, so we could enclose all of this. And then we just need all those mini platforms going like this, which is pretty expensive, but it's worth it because it can just go straight across these 2 conveyors here. And then we need a few more planks to go straight to the floor, and then a blueprint, one there, and then, oh, more rope. So now the healing potions can be brought directly to the shelves. Good. Automated healing potion selling. Excellent. Oh, turquoise is actually the next submission thing. I didn't realize that. Now we just gotta make sure it works, and away it goes. Beautiful. Thankfully that doesn't break the glass. Thankfully glass was not a factor in making this. Don't question it. Now there was that other quest I needed a lot of charcoal to do, so thankfully there's enough here for that. And then it also needed a lot of rope, which thankfully now we're making. Now something we could use is a resupply constantly going for the iron smelter. So what we can do is get a couple tables over here, big enough to hold one of these things. And then actually, we don't need too much going on there. Not that extravagant, because the table should be able to go right over this. And then the thing, of course, the table isn't big enough for that, but a box does work here. Trying to think about where we can put that so that we can just set up a catapult directly in front of the storage thing. I guess we could have it launch from back here. Doesn't necessarily need to be in front of it, as long as the catapult can make it there, and thankfully it can, so we just gotta set this to daily restock, which might get expensive, but thankfully this should be fine, since it's not like the wood, which is going across an entire conveyor system, and it's still resupplying daily. At least the stone here is keeping kinda full, and that one is, but that should be fine. So now we can get a constant supply of nails, I guess. We really need to find something better to do with all that metal. And you know what? I totally forgot I was gonna set up a pulley thing, but we definitely need more rope to be made regardless, because this process is incredibly slow. At least now we can turn in that one quest, and we'll see what the damage is this day. We made almost 10,000 just from selling the linens, and 3,000 from the healing potions. Okay, so good. Our earnings are now higher than our expenses, which I thought I set the... Okay, that is at auto supply, and it's auto supplied the thing already. Beautiful. Although that was for yesterday, so we'll see what the damage is today, but we can also probably pay off bills super easily, 5,000. Oh, so there's a random quest there for an artifact. We need a shaper and a whole lot of wood and small gears, but let's see what we can do to fix our rope system. Actually, we should be able to now calmly collect all the healing potions and put them towards that one upgrade to work our way towards getting that automatic checkout, even though that costs turquoise. And there should be enough on the conveyor line that we can do that. So now we can do that. Store environment increases shop reputation, so that's probably what brings in the more expensive customers. And honestly, we could probably set up more catapults like this to stock more shelves, and hopefully the customers today give us a lot more. We do see somebody at the healing potion thing, so that's good. Ooh, lots of supplies here. Yes, 1,300 on a transaction, making much more money. And are the linens still supplying? So to get things from one table to the other, we can set up catapults out here too. I think that might be what we have to do for the pulley thing to work, instead of constantly placing down tables. Okay, trying to think about our system here on what can change so that we can move some things around and free up some room. I think we can get rid of all of these things here, because all the powder is being, or the sand is being put into there and then put into there anyway. So that can go away. And our flax production could definitely use an improvement because this line did not used to be empty. Also, we were making linens over here? I never realized that. This got cut off somehow. Well, that's more room than we can free up on our thing. That was 2,000 gold, right? Or I guess bronze, Bronze, copper. I just go through the transactions so fast I don't realize how much I actually made until it's like after. But now where is that thread needed? I guess here because it makes the rope. Oh, we can put a box here that can work. We are making quite a bit of profit, so maybe we should buy another lot and just keep expanding. But I really wish customers would just give me a break, or I could close this shop just so I can work on, you know, setting up the pulley thing, because like, trying to plan this out, and then it's like, oh, we have to do transactions? At least it pays a lot. So we might as well have some more research going, like that shaper that we'll need eventually, and the kiln, and pipes, sure. So maybe it'd be easiest just to set up a table right in here, or at least bridging this gap, I guess, because that should be easy, and then a box can go in here, or we could catapult it. I have to remember catapults exist, and my goodness, there's a lot of transactions happening. But an assembler goes like this, and then we have to have the catapult go to a large box like so. So that should be easy enough. Divert some of this there, so that can go in there, and that can go in there. Now we can make the pulleys. How quick we make them is gonna depend on how quickly we can make the rope, which is bringing us back to our original problem, more flax production, which brings us back to our original problem, clay production. We should probably set up another clay line. So one can be for the sage and one can be for the flax. But let's see, are we making any pulleys? Oh, we have made pulleys. How much do we need to upgrade like conveyor or factory speed? 200 of them? That's so many. What even is this? Soap? All right, but we did just get a manual thing for pipelines. That's another process type that we can set up. Pipes have no directions. You can check pipe contents via, all right. So these pipes can go wherever, but what was that it connected to? Probably something more we need to research, like a conical flask, but where do we get water? Well, either way, I think we're ready for more land. 3,000 to open that up and then buy some more. Sure, so now we own all of the immediate area around our shop. This gives us so much more room to work. This should make it a lot easier to set up another clay line. If we just set that box right there, and then we need to copy a lot. But realistically, I think we just need more of the sand production more than anything, because our charcoal's looking really good. So we can do a catapult there to fling it over this way, get caught by a table and things. I'll have to see if the catapult can reach that though. And it's too far away, but a box should fit in here. And then we basically just gotta copy the sand production to bring it back over there. So we just gotta get it to catapult directly back to this, which might be too far away. Unless we get the catapult right in there, that tiny little crevice. Well, while we're setting this up, we can at least start this process. So we're getting more sand made, and we need a catapult close enough to do that. But of course we need more rope, and our rope is kind of in use right now. Although it does make 2 at a time, surprisingly. So we just need 2 more. And can that get to here? Yes, it can. Good. So now we have more stone production, or not stone, sand production. That should help keep up with the charcoal to make clay. Because I mean, look at the output of stone here. It's not like we're really lacking any. Oh, that is working so much better. And that in turn should keep up our sage production. And by sage, I mean flax, but both. Both is good. And that should get us making more pulleys. All of this just for a couple of upgrades, but we still need the research for the Jupiter and our craft stand. Is that what this is? That is what this is. Well, if we're gonna sell that for 2 silver, we're gonna need this too. All right, how bad is the damage that day? We did make 8,000 from potion cells, selling almost 100 of them. And surprisingly, the linens gave us almost that much, with selling half of that. And ooh, we went a little negative, but we should be able to pay off that bill still. Yes, we can. It just takes most of our money again. Thankfully, we had so much. At least this random quest we can do. And oh yeah, okay, at least the metal is full, so it shouldn't cost anything to restock that now because it is full. The wood, we can handle the wood. There's a bit of surplus on potions. That's good. We're getting even more surpluses of wood. Do we even need this? I don't think we need this anymore. We could just put all that wood towards pulley production, and hopefully fixing all that solves our linen problem too. But it's still kinda slow going. At least people can still pay a lot without the linens. And we do have a lot of pulleys too, so can we start selling those? They are worth way more than the nails are. Oh, it is so beautiful to see the bills menu empty. But now, what the heck do we do to set up a shaper? It has 6 inputs? Wow. Oh, and we can actually place this? Oh, this is getting interesting. Oh, we can research fuel efficiency? Oh, we should definitely do that. How much wood was that? 400? Easy. So now our fuel should burn a lot better, and 200 charcoal for that one, easy. Just make the fuel even more efficient. Really getting some upgrades. Oh, that menu changes everything. There was also an upgrade for sprint speed, but that cost the vitality potion. And I'm not sure this is in the right menu for fuel efficiency. You would think you would see that under speed upgrades. When did this only become schedule 1? Okay, we definitely should get some of the turquoise pretty soon here, just so we can set up the automatic checkout, because my goodness, I'm trying to do stuff. I can't be handling customers all day, but we do need to research more things to get all the way down there. So it's a good thing we are making plenty of money, and we're gonna need to set up some other things too, built on a heating device. So we could have the wood supply lines go underneath tables to get them to the back end here, but I almost wonder if it wouldn't be better just to have a different line to reach over here. That might be the case. So let's see, to work the kiln, we need another heating base, and now we're actually too good at getting through all the stone here. Oh, that's because I ran out. Okay, but there's a glass, so we can continue researching through here to get the blender, which will let us make a vitality potion and the turquoise. But we still need that water. Is that what this does? For storing liquids, we will need that. An extractor, process raw materials into liquid outputs. So we will need this. Okay, so now we have these, but we need to make glass, which is sand in a kiln. So we need to set up the kiln, which also takes a lot of clay. And that's a big kiln. That's gonna take up the whole heating base. But now we can research the turquoise properly. And here, why don't we buy some stone, because we do need to fill those up to make sure this production doesn't stop, as it kind of has. I didn't realize how much of the production relied on the stone being processed. Like, all of this is empty now. No wonder we're not getting any more linens. Can we throw things into here? Because then we could split it. Okay, let's just set up a mock thing so we know what this is gonna take. We have a furnace, we have a kiln that needs to go there, but that costs clay, because of course it does. Although if nothing's been running, there should be a stack of clay somewhere. Right here. So that would go there, kiln, recipe, glass, yada yada. So we could probably put that over here, since we're making sand, so that can run through here easy enough. So this might actually be an easy process, especially if we're just doing it to make glass initially. We can set up the heat base here, and it's actually centered, so the kiln can go on there easily enough. So now we're making those, but we do need wood to fuel this thing. Make some glass. And now we should be making it. Let's just set up a box here, and then a little storage here that we can't afford, so never mind. So now we're making glass. Good. We just happen to be borrowing a couple of stones from that production line, which honestly I think is okay. And then the extractor is what we need to make the raw materials into liquids, which is actually a lot smaller than I thought it was gonna be. What goes in here? Well, here, let's get a table set up so we can blueprint this later. We need some metal too, which there should be, yeah, plenty in this box. Then we just get some glass panels, which actually sell for a decent amount. But an extractor would go here for liquids, and then what goes in there? Just anything? Liquid. So some things, quicklime powder makes lime water. That's what the clear droplet is. So we need this happening over where the quicklime is happening. And then we need to resume the quicklime production. And then 180 units of water, but quicklime powder makes 30 units of water. So 5 of those, 2 of these. So that's a 5 to 2 input for this, which goes in a blender. Do we have the blender? We do, which of course costs more glass. So that would go like that, recipe turquoise, which has a solid input and a liquid input. Very interesting. And I think this will be a lot easier to mess with in a different video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. We got the healing potion production going, which is great. Able to sell it and pay off all of our debts, as well as buy all the land around us. Great success. Anyway, if you guys want to see more Alchemy Factory, be sure to let me know. Thank you for watching, and sub to Intern.